Welcome to my little suburban food forest, which I've been nurturing over the years. See if anybody jumps on the live stream. And today I wanted to take advantage of a few things. We have palm nuts coming in like crazy. This is the Eureka palm, and it is a championship palm to grow in any yard. You can see this one has nuts that are fully ripe. See the size. The germination rate on these seeds is something like 100%. This one feels almost a little soft, and I'm going to try them today because after all, this channel is called Eat Your Backyard. I've been told they're edible. I've never tried one which is ripe. It's the first one I've ever tried. All right, I'll give you the reaction. Okay. I'm really not sure how to describe the flavor. I'm going to say it's almost like a banana. Wow, that's weird. I liked it. It was nice. It's sweet, like a very mild sweetness. Well, what do you know? I'm going back in for another one. It's a good looking one. Interesting. Hey, James Tropical. Palm tree. Yeah, so I'd say the Eureka palm fruit, pretty good, actually. Real good. At first it was unusual. It's like I'd say like almost like a slimy banana, more mild flavored banana. Would be about the best way I would describe it. No tartness to it whatsoever. The Eureka palm. Wow. Fully edible. And look at how much fruit you get once you look at all these things you just throw in the yard waste as food. Are you kidding me? All of this fruit is food now. I would have never known it. Yeah, hey, Gardner Twitty. Yeah, they're edible. I just ate 2. I wait to see if I start to feel sick. I went on a good friend's advice. This is an Eureka, A-R-E-C-A palm. The Eureka palm is pretty common in where I am in Florida, Central Florida, and down towards South Florida, certainly. They call it the sugarcane palm because it has this, really cool bamboo kind of look after the fronds fall off. This is more or less a self-cleaning palm. Oh, thanks. Appreciate the compliment. Yeah, it is really cool. This is one of my favorite. And I grew this from seeds. I grew this from, this is such an easy palm to grow from seeds. And I mean, it just has a high germination rate. That's why you can actually find these in chain stores, sold as indoor plants, which is a cool way to grow them, actually. Like, just put a bunch of seeds in a container and sprout them all in a big clump, because you want them to be like this, all the separate palms growing from a clump. There's really no other way to do it. It wants to do it, You can see this one has, from past big wind events, tropical storms and stuff, hurricanes close. It's gotten whipped up. But yeah, edible. And I've been throwing these. Be careful I don't get the old spider bite. I've been throwing these in the yard waste for years. And now I'm going to start eating them. That was good, I'll tell you. Took a moment or two to decide if I like that, but I do like it. Lemon. Would you look at the size of this Jamaican cherry tree? This is a little over a year old, maybe. It's just huge. The structure of this tree is so predictable. You see it have like, you did, Scott Marshall, you just planted lots of coconut palms in your backyard? Good on you. What's the number? Look at this. Branch, 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 branch. Planting 2. Good number. Congratulations though, man. You got 2 coconut trees planted. That means you're getting coconuts soon. I'll show you my coconut tree here in a sec. Look at how tall this thing got though. Can't believe it. It's got that weeping structure. That's the other reliable architectural thing on these strawberry trees, these Jamaican cherry trees, Montingia. They weep. Yeah. Yeah, you should be super stoked, man. Planting a coconut tree is like planting a thing that just produces awesomeness for a long time. Let's go look at mine. Here, I'll show you. Speaking of coconut trees, check out this little green Malay. She's finally waking up. I planted this one about, maybe 4 months ago. And I hit it with so many waves of worm tea. That's worm tea and lots of rabbit manure. So much though that I think it almost overdid it a bit, maybe. But we went through a bit of a dry spell, and that ended, and we got some heavy rain, so everything perked up. It was just waiting for that rain, and this center, this beautiful frond that just grew out, just jumped up after I got a couple heavy rains. These coconut trees are made for battle. They're made for the long haul. Oh, that'd be great. I think the Malay yellow dwarf, that is the best coconut tree on earth. I'll make that bold claim. Yeah, I was a little concerned about this Soursop. I picked these up at Lowe's. They were like 12 bucks. Kidding me? Couldn't believe it. But I had no idea what they would do. But you can see they got that brown leaf burn. That's from the irrigation, the salty irrigation. I planted one here in more or less partial shade and one out in full sun. The one in full sun is likely to not get as much sprinkler on it because there's one there, sprinkler right in there, and then there's one there. This is kind of in between, so it might be able to get just grow up through the middle. I have to think about things like that in my yard because it's either let them die of drought or find plants that are resilient. And like if you're doing the permaculture thing, you're trying to adapt to your environment. My environment is salty. Oh, look at that. Soursop attack. Yeah. I know the factors that'll damage plants like this, and salt, temperature, and others, pests, but this is clearly the telltale signs of the salt burn. Oh, darn it. Well, I don't know. Now maybe I can count on, and this is what I count on sometimes. I'm doing that with this grapefruit tree here. It looks pathetic. It's like Charlie Brown's Christmas tree. But I do that because, and I grew a huge ruby red grapefruit tree right here. Before it got knocked down by hurricanes, but this is a new one. But the point is, it started just like this, just barely clung to life. It just kept sprouting and sprouting, and then it finally got up above the sprinkler sprayage, which I think this one almost should be, but it got hit by the aphids too. But anyway, the point is, they just keep growing no matter what hits them, and eventually they get big enough, and then they take off and produce fruit. But the leaves on the citrus here always look kind of gnarly. Hey, LaFrance, good to see you. Yeah, Scott Marshall. exactly. Oops. Okay. Yeah, so the Soursops, 2 different places. The one out in full sun is definitely suffering. You know, it could be that my analysis of this, though, is wrong. And that maybe as I think a little more, yeah, there could be other reasons. And one could be that this is a hothouse flower, right? That it was planted. Yeah, the palms are loving it out there in Orlando. Yeah, this was a hothouse grown soursop, and then you put it out in full sun and it just gets fried. So this might be oven cookage syndrome. The old put it in the frying pan of nuclear heat, which is what this area of the yard gets. The St. Augustine grass and everything loves it. And by the way, I've been washing out the rabbit pans we use to collect the rabbit manure here, and as a result, look at how green this looks. This is a combination of St. Augustine grass and Bermuda grass. You know, we love to have the grass because we're out here throwing the football. Jack and I, barefoot all the time, walking around. And now that we've got the chickens isolated, we don't have to worry so much about them destroying the grass, because for a little while we let them free range and they just ate every bit of grass they could get in contact with. So now we have grass back, but washing the bunny pans here, all that manure, runoff, water, has just made this area lush and green. It's like a carpet. And that's the only fertilizer we use is bunny turds. Isn't that amazing? So stoked on that. Yeah, this time of year, this is the southern corner of my yard, and you got to really think, I always think you have to think about the location and the orientation of the sun and the winds and all that stuff. Here it's a major factor, but this area is so dry this time of year that even with rains, it's just still, if you don't get the rains by this time, it's just sand. So, no worms can thrive in that. I can come out here and hand water it, but I just kind of, for me, vegetable gardening in summer in Florida is really just about surrendering certain areas, not even trying, and waiting for fall. But in a full sun blasted spot like this, it's just so hard to keep going unless you got the water on it, or do hydroponics, or do some kind of thing like that. Or you can do stuff like this, which is the tower gardening, so to speak. That worked out pretty good, by the way, but these were way more expensive than I would have thought they would be. Way more. But, rent a bunny business. That is so cool. I love that idea. I saw a thing that was rent ducks business, and you bring the ducks in these areas that were totally overgrown and wild, and they would just go in there and they would put a pen around the outside of the forest or wherever they were putting them, and those ducks would absolutely level everything. And they converted all to duck manure, which they say ducks are the gardener's best friend or whatever. That's a thing. So yeah, but ducks and chickens and bunnies all got the masterclass manure. Oh, you had to make it into a slope. Yeah, well, LaFrance, sometimes you got to do that. Terrace situation. Hey, Sky Angel. They taste citrusy sweet. Really? I wouldn't have thought. That's cool. You sloped your backyard, Scott Marshall. Wow, and you're over there in Orlando? In the hill country. Look at this moringa. This thing had so much success growing moringa. Everybody on the stream, if you don't already have it, let us know if you do have it. But moringa, so easy to grow. The chickens love the moringa. Compost bins are full. Need a little bit of work. I'm even putting these palm fronds in there, and it's a lot. I was like wondering how to get it into the compost bin because it's so big. But I'm just gonna kind of chop it into sections and jam it in there. And I just believe in these compost bins now. It's insane. They just consume the stuff I put in there. Just filled this one up. We did some sea grape trimming. Actually, I got stung by a bunch of bees. I didn't realize there's a yellow jacket nest right next to the sea grape thing I was trimming, and it erupted on me. But anyway, put the leaves in here, a lot of them. And then I also now, I'm using, ooh, almost walked into that. Oh, see that? There you go. There you go. So many of those in my yard. You know, it forces you to have a Zen-like awareness as you walk through your yard, because I'm just gonna cut this one support wire. There you go. You're constantly almost getting a spider in the face. Holy mackerel. Thanks for staying on. I had to switch to my Wi-Fi. All right. So I was saying that the chickens are composting that back corner actively, and you could see even on there was chicken manure on top of the sea grapes. So in 3 days they're back there pecking at it. There are little holes in it. They're just working it into pieces, which is doing the composting work for me, because those sea grape leaves are big and rigid, kind of a pain to deal with, but they make great chicken bedding. And no, it wasn't you, LaFrance, it was me. There they are, little chickens. We put them back in their pen all day today. No rain, so they got to forage like crazy. Actually, you know, we spoil these chickens for sure. Where did I put the... Ah, there we go. Yeah, I got miscellaneous projects underway. So the old black soldier fly larva. I think that's what it's called, black soldier fly larva. Oh look, they saw it. I think they're... Yeah. They know exactly what time it is. Any advice for yellowing banana leaves? Well, I mean, like the whole thing is yellowing. I would think that would mean you should add some organic material to it, like, no, my bag is splitting open. Yeah, like any kind of animal manure around it and watered in, that kind of thing. Usually, when things get yellow like that, is some kind of caloric situation, I would think. Okay. I'm trying to keep an handful of these worms. Oh, look at you. Don't you want some? Don't you want some? Oh, come this way. Come on. Here we go. All right, just out of range. There you go. Oh, no. Oh, no. There you go. Looks like a bit of a spillage here. Well, I think the chickens win. I'm gonna put it right into the cage. There you go, chickens. Little snack. The chickens attack the mealworms while I have my back turned. Yeah, I think, my thing is with the banana trees, if you have the same thing happening with the yellowing leaves, I'll show you what I'm doing after I throw these mealworms in. They might as well eat them. They'll eat every one of these. Oh, God, you want to get in there, huh? Get in on the action. Come on. Come on. This way. Easy, easy. Love my system. Boy, they really lucked out tonight. Yeah, so simple. I avoid even having to build complicated framing and stuff. And I think the chickens don't even have an interest in trying to fly over these green garden fences for whatever reason. I'm really glad I selected them because they haven't tried to fly over them even one time. And I think it's because they don't have a cross support bar. Like if you put one of these 2x2s, across, I think you would provoke them to want to land on it, just like the roosting bars I've got back in there. If you can see, I use the 4x4s, just prop them in trees. They love it. Oh, wow. Yeah, so another one that's blooming quite a bit is the Robellini, miniature date palm. Now these are supposed to be, maybe we find a ripe one, I'm gonna try that too. These are supposed to be edible, just like the date, but they have very little fruit on them. There's none that I see that are, I don't know though. Just as I say that, these are a little bit dark. You see that? That's about when you wanna, oh, are they? Well, no, some. All right. Let's see this one. It's like little tiny seed from the Robellini. It's not very big at all. And I think this one is just about right, but it feels hard. Let me try it. No, that's disgusting. Ugh, it's like, what's that? Yeah, I forget the name for that flavor, but where it's just like, it's like glue. That was not good at all. So yeah, it looks like the Robellini is no good because it seems to go from this greenish color to this brownish color. And I've tried both the greenish color and the brownish color, and they're both nasty. So I'm gonna tell you, the Robellini is not edible in any way I know. Which is kind of a shame, really, because look at how much fruit it produces. But it's beautiful, so what the heck. Yeah, we had a bunch of cherries coming in. The Suriname cherry actually bloomed a bit. May have some fruit. Oh yeah, loaded with fruit. Love the Suriname cherry. All the low fruit was picked off by the jack. Left me with only the high fruit. Ah, no, missed some. Let's see. Difficult one-handed, but I think we can achieve it. No, not there. This one? Yeah. Okay. Oh, about 100 rain down. There you go. Look at how many fruit are up there. Is that crazy? Pick with the camera hand. Let's see. It's this one that. Okay. Yikes. Oh. Okay. All right. Yeah, the fruit's a weird quality. I kind of think when it's dry for so long and then it perks up that it can make the fruit weird, but that looks pretty good. I could probably pick about 20 times this amount easily. I'll try that. That was good and very tart. Oh wow. Yeah, sewage leak I guess could actually over the long term be pretty good for your garden. As long as you don't eat what is being fertilized by it immediately after the leak. We have a kind of a kind of sewage leak here, which is the nonstop manure. And I actually have to go change the chicken bedding soon, but yeah, that provides a whole new. I'm actually a little bit overdue on that, but it's still fine the way it is. I checked it. You kind of compost the chicken bedding by turning it over in there with a rake, you know, so I keep it kind of turned over and it just kind of naturally composts, so that when you take it out, I get now time I have to get a wheelbarrow, but take it over and put it in the compost bin. It's already started to compost. And having the wood chips is actually really good for your compost. You have to have carbon to make the right mix. So if you put the wood chips through the chicken bedding, it is absolutely infusing that in your compost. And you basically put it in layers, so you're making this stratified, layered, nutrient-rich thing that breaks down over time. And now anything that doesn't fit in the compost bin, I just chuck it in the chicken bin. I'll give you an example. Man, I'm eating all these cherries. Look at this piece of fungus here. Is that wild or what? That's a killer. If you see that on your palm tree, just say your goodbyes. You're done. It'll 100% of the time kill your palm tree. I don't actually remember the name of it, but anyway, it's a natural part of the experience, I believe. No way to avoid it that I would think of. If it happens to older trees typically. But one way you can avoid spreading it is to not cut this tree and then go cut another palm tree, because you almost certainly will spread it to that other palm tree. And how do I know? Well, I spread it to this palm tree, this areca palm, which is also dying and has the same thing around the base now. So, and I trimmed them both in the same day. So yeah, you know, bio-isolation, it's a concept of permaculture. You try to isolate. I isolate, for instance, my rabbits from being exposed to wild rabbits, all that kind of stuff. So what I'm doing is picking this weed that really had annoyed me from forever, that grows commonly everywhere. And I realized that it is, yeah, the areca bit it, the famous areca. That areca is in videos. That one I just showed that's dying is in so many videos. There's one called Stump and Reclump that ended up getting a lot of views. And it's in there and it looks so great. So even though it's caught the sickness of the fungus among us, it lives on YouTube. But I'm picking all this stuff just so I can illustrate it. Hopefully I can get to the chickens without losing my Wi-Fi here, because I had to reconnect to my local Wi-Fi. But yeah, anyway, so all of this. Oh, no way, LaFrance. That was the first video you saw on the channel. So cool. All right, let's see. Yee, chick, chick. Yee, chick, chick. Oh, they're in the pen. All right, this is a stretch to see if we can reach it. So used to them being in that back corner. Oh yeah, I knew I wouldn't have to call you twice. Okay, now it goes far away from this as possible. All right, you ready? Here you go. Some chickens didn't see it. There they go. They will devour that. So cool how those things that you thought were nuisance are now like a tasty treat for your little pets that are going to turn it into eggs and the most sick manure you've ever encountered. I've actually got a 5-gallon bucket full of bunny manure I haven't put on yet. I've got to dispense that for sure. Look at this moringa, man. I love it. Now, I'm going to show you one other thing while I'm back here. This tower, the tower gardening setup that we have, I had a theory that one of the, it's just got things kind of piled up in it now. We picked this off for the rabbits. Maybe we'll do that. Yeah, oh, look at this. Basil flower. Basil flower USA. Love that. I'll tell you what, I'll pick one of these and feed it to a bunny. So anyway, the top of just pineapples. And I've never had success growing pineapples just straight in the sandy soil of my yard, doing something wrong. Heard I should use pine bark nuggets, etc. Anyway, but my friend Dave told me, he's actually featured on the channel, a tour of his backyard, a couple different years that we did it. I'll try to remember to put a link here today. But anyway, this approach that he told me about was to grow pineapples in pots. He said they like to be bound in pots like that, and they grow really, and he had gigantic pineapple plants everywhere, all in pots and stuff, so he's the master of growing them. I put it in this little space and it is doing great. It's just the top I cut off a pineapple at the store. And actually, a little fun fact, yeah, growing pineapples, I'll tell you what, yeah, you had issues too, La France. Yeah, look at this. Here's the compare and contrast. And that's interesting too, because this is the kind that has the razor on the edge, which I was told is the wild kind. It has a, like a sawtooth on it, but look at how they just struggle there. What I'm gonna do is pull these, in fact, I'm gonna do it right now. Pull these out. They've just been struggling. I can't even tell you how long they've been in the ground. And look at that, that's all they've done. Nuts. Compared to this one, which has been in there for a few months and already looks like it's healthy. I mean, just compare the pathetic state of this to that. All right, so we're liberating ourselves from these circumstances, man. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. Let's dig a little out. It's interesting, isn't it? Look at that big root ball. I'm not even kidding when I say this thing is probably in there for 3 years. It's like the oldest, smallest pineapple plant ever grown. Bonsai pineapple plant growing. But I thought right up on the top, it would do well. Might as well. These are some papaya trees, plants. All right, and then the other one would just go right here. This is how I intended to do it the whole time, but I thought I was gonna get fresh pineapples. But yeah, there's no sense allowing this pathetic situation to continue. Let's pack it in. And now these will be bound in. I'll check back on it in future videos, but I'm guessing that the contained nature of it. And the cool thing is, oh, hey, thanks for jumping on. Oh, man, now my hands are a little dirty, but can't stop the text from going by faster than I can read them. So sorry if I don't get to your comments on the stream. I'm not ignoring them. I'll wait for them to start making suckers before planting. Interesting. So I've got 3 there now, and the cool thing I already noticed is, look at this. It's got the serrated, what do you call it? Serrated, sorry, serrated edge on this one, which Dave said was a wild pineapple, I believe. And then this one, you're not doing this on that other one, no way. This is what I was told is the commercial kind that doesn't have the sawtooth on the edge. So what this is really telling me is, it's time to go get some more pineapple fruit at the grocery store, because that's one of the coolest things. And if I could just make this whole thing a pineapple, the bomber, every one of these pineapple, this is I think 20 different ones. And actually, yeah, you can let me know, what do you think I should feed the bunnies? We got a choice here. This would be a fun stream activity. We got red kale. Got carrot greens, some more red kale, basil, got the mint flowers. Oh, look at that mint. A red pineapple? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, if you see a red pineapple at the store, you got to buy it. Look at that mint flower, isn't that cool? It's light red instead of yellow. Oh, on the inside it's red, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I'd love to have one of those in this collection. Well, so there you go. Progress on the old pineapple farm. I planted some pathetic aloe over here as well, as you can see, but that'll do well in whatever. You can basically just stuff that in the ground and forget about it. It's doing its thing all on its own. My little Celeste fig is starting to come back. The chickens just pecked it beyond recognition, but it's starting to grow back. You can see pretty healthy. Not too bad. Figs I don't expect to start strong. I added 4 young figs to the yard this year, and they never seem to start strong. I kind of did a whole rejuvenation of everything this year. And then I hit it all with the bunny turds and just never-ending flows of worm tea, and well, here we are. But I still want to add some more components to it. There's definitely, I'm almost thinking to expand the banana potential. The banana potential is so clear. Look at this. By the way, talking about bananas earlier. Whoop-ha. There's the bananas. Now, those bananas are destined. Look, there are the papayas too. Oh, no papayas. Those are destined for the dehydrator, my friends. Destined for the dehydrator. I bought a dehydrator finally. I spent $70 on a dehydrator. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description, but the point is, it was a good purchase. Okay, we'll pick that. Oh, wow. That is so incredible smelling. I'm gonna see if they like the stem. They like everything about these basil plants. You're not gonna go wrong feeding baby lionhead bunnies basil. They love you forever for that act. And of course, no rabbit that ever lived didn't want to eat some carrot greens. And that's an. All right, enough is enough. I'm gonna try to switch over to my cell phone provider thing. Let's see. See if I going on the road. Into the bunny run. Our bunnies have already been out to exercise, so. Hey, Penelope. Yeah, this is the new phone. Yeah, this isn't the phone's fault, though. Yeah, the new phone has arrived. This is the new iPhone 12 Pro. Not interested? Oh, please. Oh, wow, I pulled out a whole baby carrot. Oh, that's good. She'll eat it. I just kind of woke her up. These rabbits are super sleepy after running around. They're just kind of getting a trance mode, really. I always joke that they're meditating, but it's more like they're just being rabbits. Here you go. Did I wake you up? Rabbits can sleep with their eyes open? Interesting. Well, see what I'm gonna do. Not really. I think they were both asleep. It's a weird thing. You can come up on these rabbits and they're just sitting there completely still, and you realize, oh, they're sleeping with their eyes open. I think that's what just happened here, because normally they would freak out to get to these basil leaves, but it's like, dude, you woke me up. So there you go. And I'll give them some seeds, but I'm actually gonna dry these. I realized this one thing is going to produce a lot more basil plants. Now, we might as well plant some basil while we're at it. And I'm going to plant it back here by the old chicky-doos, now that we're free roaming. Yeah, Just gonna bury it down a little bit, each one of these twigs. Doesn't really need to be fancy, but I bet you they're gonna grow. Oops, this one. I think I'll take this one and put it back in a place where it might have an easier possibility of growing. Just plant the whole flower in there. And we'll have basil plants for sure. Let's see here, chickies. Let's see here, chickies. You want to try some pigeon pea? This pigeon pea's kind of growing out into the place we don't want it to be, like this one. See, I wonder if it'll snap with my fingers. To kill chickens and sell them? Yeah. That's an interesting job, actually. All right, let's see. Chicken and fruit stall. That's cool. I don't know if I'm going to be able to break this with my finger. I might have to come back and cut it with a knife, but I think I'll give it a try. See, it's got the ants have been farming on it. You see that white stuff? I usually don't do much about that, but I'm going to break this off. Yeah, okay, it ripped right off. See, it's very fibrous, pigeon pea. Very fibrous. Isn't that cool? But, yeah, unlike the rabbits, and like, I'll tell you what, between chickens and rabbits, now that we have both, the chickens win almost all the time because the rabbits, even when they're out, they just want to kind of, you know, lay around, mostly. But look at this. You like that pigeon pea? Yeah. They will definitely eat it. Just about everything you put in there. So, all right, thanks for jumping on the live stream. I appreciate it. If you like this video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. That lets me know to make more like this. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm going to live stream as I usually do on Saturday and usually Sunday mornings as well. Always a live chat premiere on Wednesday evenings and usually a short each morning. So thanks for watching. Eat Your Backyard. Hope you have a great day and hope you get growing in your life.